Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Calvin Tobin Show. I am your host, Calvin Tobin. Today we have a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. All right, the NFL is officially back, and last night we had our first NFL game with the Buffalo Bills facing the defending Super Bowl champions, the Los Angeles Rams. And before everything started, we had Andrew Whitworth showcasing the Lombardi Trophy, and OBJ was feeling it. And as usual, he was showing off his dance moves. And right after that, we had none other than The Rock himself do the introduction to the game, and he brought it as usual to kick off the 2022-2023 NFL season. Now, to start off this game, the Buffalo Bills started off with the ball first, and they drove right down the field for their first score of the year. And the first score of the year was a touchdown to Gabriel Davis to put the Buffalo Bills up 7-0. And the Rams offense and Matthew Stafford took a lot longer than they would have liked to score their first touchdown of the year. But when they did, it was none other than the combo that we were all waiting for. Matthew Stafford to Cooper Kupp with a nice toe tap inside the end of the end zone for their first score of the year. But in this first half, it was very defensive with both teams giving each other the ball drive after drive with multiple interceptions being thrown. And you would think after all of this would happen, it'd be a very low scoring game. But once that second half started, it was completely different, but it was one-sided because the Buffalo Bills had complete control of the game. And the dynamic duo of Josh Allen and Stefon Diggs, they were right back where they left off from last year. And their best play of the game, and it was the play of the game where Josh Allen threw it to Stefon Diggs for a 53-yard touchdown, and Stefon Diggs burned Jalen Ramsey on this play. But with the Rams offense, they were struggling like crazy through the entire game, especially in that second half, because that Bills defense had them wrapped up like a burrito because they sacked Matthew Stafford 7 times, they hit him 15 times, and they also picked him off 3 times. But this is just week 1. There's nothing to worry about for the Rams just yet, even though they got smoked by the Bills 31-10. But with the Bills winning this game 31-10, that also made history for Sean McVay, because in the first time in his tenure with the Los Angeles Rams, he is now under 500 in his career. But it's only game 1, still nothing to worry about. But here's the thing, with how good the Bills were against the Rams, this was actually a huge statement because they added Bobby Wagner. Yet they did lose Von Miller, but with Bobby Wagner, Aaron Donald, and Jalen Ramsey, you would think this would be a lot closer game. But with the Bills doing this is something big, especially to start off the year. Because right now, and there is no one that is more pissed off than the Buffalo Bills, because they have gotten close multiple times, and they have had epic playoff games before and trying to get to the Super Bowl, but they just haven't got there yet. But this could and might be their year, but it's only week 1, so we got to see how the year pans out. But right before week 1 really begins, the Baltimore Ravens are in a bigger hole than ever, because just recently Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens had a disagreement, and they failed to disagree on a contract extension. And with this is huge for the Baltimore Ravens, that this contract didn't happen right now because Lamar Jackson is the backbone of this Ravens team. And because of Lamar Jackson disagreeing and not liking the contract, this sounds like it might have been less money than what Kyler Murray got. And Lamar Jackson is worth just as much, if not more money than Kyler Murray, because he is bringing the Ravens to the playoffs year after year, even though that he's a first round exit every single time. But here's the thing. This is why Lamar Jackson needs an agent, so he or she can handle this situation and get the money that he deserves. And throughout this season, the Baltimore Ravens need to think long and hard on how they are going to get Lamar Jackson his money, because if they don't, John Harbaugh might be out of the picture as well, because Lamar Jackson is playing on his final year of his rookie contract because of this disagreement. And with John and if they don't reach on this agreement, the Baltimore Ravens are going to be in a complete mess, because John Harbaugh would have been gone if they didn't get Lamar Jackson, because Joe Flacco was not putting up numbers and not producing the popularity that the Ravens would hope they are getting. But good thing for Lamar Jackson and his first-time unanimous MVP. But Lamar Jackson, this guy needs to get his money. He will get the Ravens the Super Bowl they want. Otherwise, John Harbaugh is going to be out of the picture, and potentially Lamar Jackson too in the near future. But in the future, the MLB might be changing for the better. Just maybe, because what they're doing, they're trying to add a few things to speed up the game and make the game more entertaining, because over the years, baseball has been slowly losing its popularity as time goes on. And because of all this happening, the MLB Competition Committee was thinking of just that. And what they are doing is they are adding a pitching clock, they are adding larger bases, and they are banning defensive shifts, all starting in 2023. Now, change can sometimes can be better in some ways, sometimes. But in this situation, I do not think that even speeding up the game will gain the popularity that the MLB is hoping to get back, because the MLB and baseball itself doesn't have as nearly much action as every other sport in the world. And for one, with the pitching clock, this could actually be worse for pitchers, because pitchers can get injured more often, because even with pitchers taking their time and throwing the ball whenever they want to and get the right pitch, they're still getting some of the worst injuries you can get, as far as Tommy John surgery, a hurt elbow, or whatever it is. Because because baseball is a tough sport, but like when you're throwing at 80 to 100 miles over 100 times a game, sped up or not, your arm is bound to get strained or some kind of injury in the future. And besides, pitchers are bound to get better as time goes on, and last year was proof of it, because in the first couple of months of the season, the pitchers were using this sticky substance, and they were throwing no-hitters left and right in the first couple of months of the season, and they had to get rid of it because nothing entertaining was happening. Now, adding larger bases, that's giving players a higher chance to get on base and to score in that sense. But also banning defensive shifts, that just makes it unfair a little bit, because Now players can't move around even if they know where the ball is going to go, and they're just going to be more runs, and it's going to practically be unfair on the defensive side. But does this prove that there is too much talent on the pitching side because of like all the recent no-hitters? Because there's been like 8 to 10 to 12 no-hitters over the last 2 years. And pitchers are just getting better and better and better. And eventually, when the pitchers get good enough, there'll just be no-hitters just left and right every other game. But this is why the MLB is doing this, because more runs need to be scored in baseball. And the more runs there are, the more fun the game is to watch. And that's what the MLB Competition Committee is planning on doing starting next year with these changes starting in 2023. So we got to see what's going to happen, because this is showing that on the defensive side it is too much talent, because runs are not scored as much. But baseball popularity, I do not think is going to get back to the popularity that it used to be 30, 40, 50, even 60 years ago, because of like all the social media and all the other sports just having a ton more action in itself. Baseball is just not that sport, and it's proving as the popularity has been going down over the years. All right, that's the end of the Calvin Tobin Show. Please subscribe to my channel at Calvin Tobin Show so you don't miss out on any sports media. And please follow me on Instagram at Calvin Tobin Show so you don't miss out on any sports news whatsoever. And I'm out.